Hey, Hook City TV in the place to be. Nobody watching, so I ain't gonna start talking. Whew. Okay, 15. Walt Terrace, 351. What's going on, fellas? Can y'all hear me okay? Am I on? Mic check 1 2 1 2. About to talk about fishing. Now, what about you? Mic check. How we looking? I should have brushed my hair before I got on live. My wife don't talk about it. Sounds good. Eric Davis, what's going on? 2 crappie, 5 loaves fishing. Real quick shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ before I get started, because man, am I happy that I made it back. Yes, guys, I had to go out of town. Me and management just celebrated year number 7. We took fishing Cammy with us, and man, I really want to talk about that because I just had a blast, and there's going to be a really cool non-crappie video coming. But today, this Thursday, which I just got home earlier, but tonight we will be talking about spawning crappie again. How can that not be the topic of discussion, especially if you're in the South? Okay, especially if you're in the South. We know some of our northern brothers are still dealing with ice and really cold water, and those fish are not ready to spawn yet. But down here in the South, we're getting some really good weather. We're about to get blasted with some storms, but we were getting some really good weather and some really nice spawning fish were being caught. So let's talk about it, man. Y'all come on in. Get yourself together, man. Look, y'all know what time it is. Y'all know it's about to be a good live. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for your boy. Let YouTube know that we like these lives. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, we're going to be here every Thursday night. God willing, say the same. Listen, if you are in the South and especially in Texas, man, we've got that little rash of warm weather, and those fish, man, my shirt looks good. Those fish, they pushed up. We know you ain't got none yet in Michigan, not on the banks. I wouldn't be surprised if y'all still got some really chilly water still. Marty Dunn says he's catching them in 3 foot of water. I know that there's a lot of people. JT Dimitri, what's going on? I know there's a lot of people in the southern regions that are catching some really good crappie, man. Marcus Jefferson says, this is really my first season as a crappie fisherman. I'm here in the Midwest, Indiana. I bet you're still a little cold up there too, man. Timmy Burks, what if the water still isn't right? So again, I'm speaking from a guy that's in the South's perspective. And yes, you need to wait a little bit. Nate, congratulations, man. Yes, we do have to wait for the waters to begin to warm up. What I look for here in Texas, guys, you know, we're looking for length of days. I always tell people when it starts getting dark at 7 o'clock, 7:30, pushing 8 o'clock, that's when I know for sure it's time for me to start looking. Now, accompanied with that, I'm looking for some warmer days. We get some really warm days, and you don't have to put on a jacket when it turns nighttime, when the temperatures don't just plummet at night. A lot of people say above 50, but look, I start seeing 47, 48. I get happy, you know. And depending on where you go, you can find it. Guys, we are finding some really good staging fish in 8 to 12 foot of water. Actually, 5 to 12 foot of water, all the way up to 15. I caught a staging female before I left. When was that? Monday? Yeah. We caught some staging fish, man. So the question again that we've asked is the crappie are spawning. What now? So a lot of people, like we just had a guy come on and say that it was his first time really getting into crappie season or becoming a crappie fisherman. And if you're down here in the lower states, in the lower part of the 48, then you know that it's warmer and these fish are beginning to spawn. You might not know that, but I want to tell you something. They are starting to do it, especially if you're having a little wave of warmth that is rolled through. And I know that We've had some warm days again run through the state of Texas, and these fish have pushed up. What now, though? What do we do now? A lot of people don't know where to go. And very vaguely, I know that sometimes I say against the bank, against the bank. I mean, against the bank. And people will go out and they can't catch crappie because they're against the bank. Don't know which bank they're against. They're just against something. So I'm gonna kind of just discuss a few of the things that I look for, guys. I'm not gonna go into heavy detail because there's so many videos I'm gonna create where I'll go into more detail. And if you have questions about anything I say, guys, you're watching, do not hesitate to ask. If I know, I'll tell you. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. We'll get it figured out, guys. Because again, I am surrounded by some really, really good fishermen and ladies, you know. So let's talk about it. When I talk about the banks, there's a few things that I look for. And I don't have a list, guys, so I'm just gonna kind of go off the top of my head. It's the spring, and I see brush, maybe like a fallen tree that didn't make it all the way into the water. Maybe a few of the limbs are hanging over into the water, or the tree is falling, and part of it is on the bank and part of it is in the water. That's going to be a really, really good place to start looking for spawning crappie, especially your males, because if you don't know, the males are going to push up first, get the nest ready, get everything together, get things cleaned off, smooth surfaced, and all that kind of stuff, so that the females can come up and drop those eggs so that the males can then fertilize those eggs and then stay with those eggs until they mature enough to be hatched. So one thing I look for is brush on the banks. Okay. I like to look for brush, fallen trees or anything like that. Another thing I like to look for is hard surfaces, not muddy bottom surfaces. So if you're walking along the bank and you notice yourself walking on slate rock or a lot of pebbles, you know, a lot of sand and pebbles, and not just mud and grass. If you see that kind of bottom, 9 times out of 10, that bank is actually the same way out into the water. And so those harder bottoms is what I look for. When I see those harder bottoms, I know a lot of times those fish are going to be attracted to those harder bottoms because they can attach their eggs there. Um, excuse me. And yes, they will attach. I believe that they'll attach their eggs to rocks, to limbs, even blades of grass, guys. So here's my third one. What I look for is when I see patches of green grass. Now you're gonna see this time of year. There's a whole lot of stuff that hasn't revived yet. Okay, you'll see a lot of grass that looks brown or dingy or kind of dirty looking, maybe spotty and not a lot of green to it. But listen, if you go into a cove and there's a few patches of green bladed grass, guys, that has been a big ticket for me. I figured that out maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I would go into these coves and I would fish this whole cove and I'd have a hard time locating these crappie until I went to the little spots where the grass was green, where it was in the water. Let me make sure I say that right. The grass is in the water. It's flooded grass, but it's green. When you find patches of green flooded grass, check it out. Okay, especially if it's on hard bottom where there's pebble or some type of rock there. That's one thing I really like looking for. Um, Another one. So you know that if you have marinas or fish houses or anything like that, that hold fish, a lot of times people that work the marinas, that fish the marinas, they'll drop a lot of brush into these areas. And some of these marinas aren't very deep or they're not very far from the shore. Okay. Um, Fishing around marinas is a great place to look right now because what you'll find is two types of fish that are transitioning from the deeper water into the shallower water. And then you'll also find fish that are actually going to be spawning at those marinas. Real quick, we have our first super chat. Hey, brother, hope you guys enjoyed your anniversary from my sister Tamika Craig. And yes, ma'am, we had a blast in South Carolina. And if y'all want to hear about it, Angela, hey, what's going on? I see you now. Right on, right on. For the live, I did. Um, But we had an awesome time, Tamika and the Craig family. Hopefully Marco's watching as well if he's not busy. We had an awesome time on the anniversary, celebrating 7 years of marriage. And guys, it's been all God and us learning when to not pick fights or to be quiet, or pick your battles. So, yes, we had an awesome time. Bought fishing Cammy with us. I was able to go fishing, had an awesome time there. So, thank you very much for that super chat. No one understands, sister, what you gave goes towards crappie fishing and keeping this thing entertaining and informative. So, thank you very much, guys. Real quick, I want to say there's a couple of ways to get to me. If you're not comfortable answering these questions here, or if I don't get to your question because I'm so busy talking next level, thank you very much. We're gonna get to your question. Valika, hey, if you need to get in contact with me, the live chat is a great way to do it. HCTV2@gmail.com. If one of my admins can put that up, the email address is a great way to get with me, as well as anywhere under the of the videos, Instagram, Hook City TV, Twitter, Hook City TV, and the Hook City TV fan page on Facebook. Now, real quick, Next Level says, can you ever see the beds on your graph? So when I'm fishing for crappie in the shallows, I do not, how do I put these? I don't use my electronics to find spawning fish. If I'm fishing in the shallows, Next Level, again, I'm using what I can physically see, whether that be brush, whether it be trees, whether it be rock, like if I fish on the dam, and I'm just using my jig as my eyes, kind of just searching around down there. I'll also catch fish, guys, in 8 to 10 foot of water spawning. I usually go looking for those fish. Usually April is when they'll get really heavy in those 8 to 10 foot brush piles, really big brush piles that I fish on my main lake. They might even be there now with all this warm water, but it's going to be raining the next couple of days, so I might not be going to check. Thank you, D, for that. So again, I hope that kind of answers your questions. I do not use my electronics to find bedded up fish or spawning male crappie. I go into these coves. I go where I see hard bottom on the banks. I go where I see trees in the water, in shallow water. I go where I see green patches of grass and flooded grass. Those are the places that I look. And again, these are physical traits that I can see, not necessarily using my electronics for that. So very much for that super chat, man. Knowing, understanding what you gave is going towards crappie fishing, keeping this thing fun and informative, man. So thank you very much, Next Level. Hope that answered your question, man. And then again, like I say, y'all, if I'm not getting your questions answered, please get that thing highlighted by using a super chat. You can use something as small as 99 cents, I believe, and it'll allow me. It'll actually help us on the channel, but it'll also highlight your comments so that I'll make sure that I do not miss it. And then, yeah, we'll do it that way. So 98 people watching, 31 thumbs up. Guys, if y'all are enjoying the video, if I've said anything that has been informative for you, please give me a thumbs up, man, so we can let YouTube know, man, this channel is where it's at. 96 people watching. Let's bring those thumbs up, please. Thank you very much. Man. Whew. Guys, listen, I hope I don't look too tired. We literally got off a plane a few hours ago. We went and visited Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I got on a boat with my new brother, Mike. Met him at a bait shop in Murrells Inlet, if anybody's familiar, called Perry's, where we met a really nice lady named Claire, which is also the homie now. Got on the boat, guys, and we went red fishing. As a matter of fact, we went red catching. Let me say it like that. Y'all want to know about that? Maybe later on in the stream we'll talk about it. I might even share a picture or two, because that video is coming, and I want y'all to watch this video. Anytime I do anything other than crappie fishing, man, it kind of goes either way. But listen, this is not one you want to miss. So let's see. So we talked about grass. We talked about hard bottom. If you're walking on hard bottom, you see rocks on the shore. Then 9 times out of 10, they're out. They're out in in the shallower parts of the water as well. Um, we talked about falling trees. Riprap is another one. I talked about rocks, but let me call it riprap. So in on your dam, again, this is a place that I will look around April. Not very well versed on it, but I know you can catch spawning crappie on rocks on the dam. And I probably will be doing more of that this year to try to cover that for you guys in the boat. Um, so a lot of people think that you have to be on the or in the creek. A lot of people think you have to be in the creek. Very good one, Mark Williams, and that's kind of the way I'm shifting. So when we talk about main lake fish spawning, on some of my local lakes that I fish, a lot of the fish or the water warms up on the south end first, and then it'll kind of just wave, within the next couple of weeks, where it'll slowly start going north. The warmer water starts going north, and as that happens, those fish start cutting up. Now, a lot of times people fish grass, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go into cattails. Um, so when you look at the main lake, there are some main lakes that have cattails. Some main lakes have lily pads. If you have those types of things, lily pads, cattails, any type of reeds, any kind of bush that has been covered up, we're about to get a lot of rain, guys. So these fish are going to be able to push up very shallow into new areas, right? And as long as that water line stays, it doesn't recede too fast, those fish are going to push up into that stuff, into all of this new stuff with all this. We got rain coming for the next 5 days, 7 days. And it is absolutely wearing me out because I've been thinking about these fish since I left Texas a couple of days ago, thinking I was going to get back here, get on some fish, and boom, here comes all this rain. Now, fish like water, don't get me wrong, but I don't know how much I'm really ready and willing to get wet. So we're going to look at um, how much rainfall we're going to be getting. 100% chance of rain doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be 4 inches. So we're going to see if we got sprinkles coming for the next couple of days or if we got like torrential downpour. And that's going to make me choose what I do. Um, Piano at 3 asks a good questions. Torrential downpour. And that's going to make me choose what I do. Um, Piano at 3 asks a good questions. Shallows, but off the bank. So shallow water doesn't necessarily mean the bank. There's shallow coves. These shallow coves can range anywhere from 2 or 1 foot out to. I'll talk about one that I've been fishing. 1 foot out to about 8 or 9 foot. Okay, all that to me is shallow. That's under 10 foot of water. So will it push them off the bank? Yes, it will. Um, it will push them off the bank. The water will get muddy. Some of them are going to move, and they're going to move maybe out of 2 foot into 5 foot, or 2 foot out to 8 foot. And that's something that I can further go down if I end up going fishing in the rain. So yes, it will push them off of the banks a little bit, and usually within a couple of days, if it's not a lot of rain, if it's like one day of rain, they might push off and be funny acting for a day. Oh man, I'm gonna slow down talking real quick because it says I'm unstable. All right. Oh, we're still here? Is everybody still with me? Is everybody still with me? Okay, we still got people watching. My man, this is the second day this is happening. Okay, still here. Okay, did it pause for a minute, guys? Okay, buffered for a second, Ken, but you're good now. Thank you, bud. Um, so we're back. And I'm gonna keep talking. I'm sorry. Leisha. Okay, hope I answered that correct. Adam Rome is coming through. Thank you very much, man, for the super chat. No one understand, brother, what you gave goes towards crappie fishing, man. And listen, remember, if you want to do the super chat and have a question in that box as well, or a statement or anything, please add in what you want so I can read it and answer your question. So thank you. Donnell, thanks for being here, man, and thanks for helping me out. Angela, thank you. Let's see. Does a rod really make that big of a difference in a medium action rod? What do you really have to get a crappie rod that's 12 foot? I don't understand that question. Does a rod really make that big of a difference if it's a medium action rod? What do you really have to get a crappie rod? Okay. I'm gonna see if I can answer that the best way I can. I really don't understand the question, but the first half I think I gotta understand that. Does a rod really make a big difference if it's a medium action rod? So the ACC crappie sticks are medium action rods, guys. That's what I use. They're still very sensitive. It has a fast tip, um, and it's sensitive enough but strong enough to pull these fish out of the thick brush. So I use medium action rods, whether it's my 12-foot rod, my 7.6, my 8-foot, uh, my 10-foot rear seat, my 11-foot rear seat. Those are all medium action rods, and they do very, very well. So don't skip over that medium action. Matter of fact, get you one. www.acccrappiesticks.com. Crappie spawn on structure. They don't necessarily make beds like brim or bass do. Super, bro. Piano at the tree. Thank you. I guess somebody asked that question earlier about do you see the beds on electronics? And I focus more on the electronics part of it. I've never seen a crappie bed, again, like a bluegill or a bass. And on side imaging, which I've shown a million times, um, you can see a bluegill colony from a million miles away as long as that side imaging is shooting there. Crappie do not make beds the same way a bluegill does. So you're not looking for those little circles, especially if you guys are fishing in clearer water. You'll see those little, they're like saucer-sized circles. And what those bluegill are doing, they're picking up rocks and they're making these beds. And in those beds is where all the magic happens. Now, if the crappie are doing that, I've never heard of that, guys. What I know is that they again they spawn on structure, which I've covered. Rocks, trees, especially like a flat rock or slate rock or something like that. So be sure to look for that. Real quick, angler issues, informative content, Ken, fan for life. Shout out to my man, Angler Issues. We appreciate it. Know that what you gave goes towards crappie fishing. Also, Sean Conlon says, what is your favorite type of shallow water rig while fishing from the bank? Cork and jig, cork and minnow, cast and slow retrieve, etc. Great question, guys. So for me, if I'm standing on the bank, and I say this a lot, Sean, during the spawn, I keep two types of rods for sure in my truck. I keep a long rod, 10 to 12 foot rod, usually a rear seat. And then I'll also keep like a 7.5, or now they have ACC has 6, which I'm really liking, 6.5 foot rods that I keep a slip cork on. Those are the two I keep on me. So whether I'm just reaching over with this 10 or 12 foot rod, kind of just working what's near to me, or if I'm in a creek, usually I'll cast across the creek with my slip cork, and it's just a cadence. I have the jig 2 foot or so, depending on the creek depth, but usually around a foot to 2 foot deep. And I'll cast it across the creek, and it'll just be a twitch, twitch, stop, twitch, twitch, stop. If that doesn't work, then I'll start covering more ground with it. Okay, so instead of a twitch, it'll be a pull, twitch, twitch, pull, twitch, twitch. But again, you're doing it slow. So I hope that answered your question. We got questions coming now. So George Baker, I want to tell you thank you very much, sir, for what you gave. And then we're going to drop down to Marcus Jefferson. Thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Jigs heads are weighted differently. I know this, but what is the ideal hook size on the jig head to use for crappie? So in the summertime, we'll use a number 4 hook because I usually use a very small profile as those fish get finicky with that warm water. As the water as the water levels off and it's not so hot in the summer and they're not so stagnant and they begin to feed in the fall, I'll move up to another number 6, which is a bigger hook. Um, and then just to kind of cover it, I know you said they're all weighted differently, but man, I usually only use either a 16th or an 1/8 ounce. I've never, I've never really fished with a 32nd. Not saying that I won't, but usually if I change the profile and not just the weight, I usually do okay. A lot of people say a slow fall is what attracts them, and that's very true in some instances, but not in my expertise. I don't use 1/32, but a number 4 to number 6 size is what I'm using pretty much year round. As it gets slower, I go to a number 4. 2 crappie, 5 loaves. Thank you. Also, man, says, man, just wanted to be a blessing. And yes, you are a blessing. I appreciate it. Your knowledge has really helped me a ton. Thanks, man. That is great to hear. Awesome to hear, guys. Man, y'all know it, man. I've said it a million times. I'm here to help. Yes, I want to entertain you, but I also want to be informative. I want to be able to help you because I know there's a lot of people watching that are new to the addiction, to the thumb addiction. There's a lot of people that are new, and then there's a lot of people that have been fishing all their lives that are just looking to learn something new, like me. I've been fishing all my life, but I am willing and ready to learn something new. Did I miss somebody? Let's see. Okay, got that. All right. So thank y'all very much. There was a little rash of people that gave on the super chats, and we do appreciate it, guys. Um, Roger Chandler, great question. This shows like a fishing maturity right here. Roger Chandler says, excuse me, Roger Chandler says, how much time do you spend scanning versus fishing? Okay, so I am getting better at this, and I'm getting better thanks to a lot of the guys that I hang around, that I fish with, specifically Labrador Retriever and D Crappie. Those guys are scanning gurus. They love to scan. I love to scan because it's just a part of the hunt. But guys, there's so many. I like to. I'm a creature of habit. I'll go right back to where I caught them, and if they're still there, then bang, 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 bang. I'll bang them up, right? But when I'm on a new lake and I have time, I like to scan because I'm starting to go to these East Texas lakes a little more, and I don't want to just be a bridge fisherman, or I just don't want to be a spot fisherman. So as far as scanning on my home lake, let me like this. I definitely fish more than I scan, especially on my home lake. But what I've started to do now that I understand, my home lake is not very big, but what I've learned to do is not run spot to spot. I scan spot to spot. So I say, okay, look, we want to go 50 yards this way, but instead of just or 100 yards or 200 yards, in a certain direction, I won't just crank up the big motor and just haul bucket. I'll crank up, I'll idle around 3 to 4 miles an hour. I'll set myself 75 foot each side, and I'll scan as I go to that. And listen, I'll pick up a lot of stuff, especially with people, again, getting new to the sport, and they want to trying to drop their own brush and things like that. Listen, once you drop it in the lake, it's fair play. I understand that, and I've seen people fishing my stuff, and I have nothing to say about it because look, it's for everybody. This is for everybody. This is public. This is public land, public water I'm on. So as soon as I drop, I know it's not mine anymore. But when I go from spot to spot, I scan. That's the way I do it now, especially on my home lake. On a new lake, I'll look for, 3 or 4 different spots that might have fish on it. If I find 3 or 4 brush piles, 3 or 4 trees, whatever it is I'm fishing, I'm happy with it. But what I will do, if I find one spot that is just chock full, I might pass it and I might spend for another 5, 10 minutes, and then whoop, I'm back to it because I don't want to miss out on what just happened. I hope that answered your question, man. Hope that answered your question. Let me turn that down. Man, whew. While Blake Clark is on it. Blake Clark says one of the best tools for the crappie spawn would be polarized sunglasses, especially for us bank fishermen. Really gives you an edge to see all the grass, stumps, and structure where them slabs are. Great. Listen, guys, this is what Hook City TV is about right there. Blake Clark, man, said it best. And guys, look, there's a lot of things I don't think about. Um, there's a lot of things I don't think about because a lot of times I'm on the boat. Now, polarized glasses is a big one. I'm a glasses fan at all, period. But during the spawn, I do wear them just so I can. So what I look for from the boat, from this perspective on the boat, I look for I look for holes. So there'll be like let's see. If you have a bridge in the creek, which we have two bridges that sit in the creek where I fish, and what I like to do is I go to these bridges because what happens when it floods and when this water starts raging, all of this debris collects at the ends of these bridge columns. All right. And in the spring, those fish get in that debris. So what I do with my polarized glasses is, especially when you have stained water, but a lot of sunlight penetration, I take those polarized glasses and it allows me to see just little holes because again, this is just a collection of a bunch of debris, a bunch of sticks and big trees, and it's not always easy to get down into these brush piles and these debris piles. So using polarized glasses allows me to kind of I have to feel for it, but the first few inches or up to a foot or two, it allows me to get my jig down to those fish because they're down there in that debris, guys. That is another one. If you have a bridge that has a lot of debris on it, I know it might look trashy and junky. Crappie and the spawn love trash and junk. Okay. They love it, man. They absolutely love it. Let's see. John Woke. I hope I said that right. I'm just gonna call you JW, man, because I do not want to mess up your name. Ash thoughts on Garmin Panoscope perspective. I think he's talking about the. Now let's see. Are you talking about the Panoptics or the Periscope? So Reggie A, while we get that figured out, Reggie A is asking, hey bro, are the crappie more or less there when there's an overcast, when there's a cloudy day? Um, so I don't think they're more or less active, guys. I think sometimes that it can deal with how they're set up on brush piles, whether they're under, more under in the shaded area when it's sunny, or if it's overcast and it's not a lot of sun, a lot of times they'll be set up on top of the brush rather than inside of the brush, hiding from that sunlight. So you're asking about the Panoptics, JW or John. So I use the Garmin Live Scope, and I think it's an absolute blast to use. Um, it's definitely a game changer, a lot like side imaging was for that side of the electronics, or a lot like the Ultrex is for the trolling motor side of things. I like it. I do believe it's fair play. A lot of people don't believe it's fair play, but there's no buttons on anything that has to do with Garmin, period, that makes the fish bite. You still got to make these fish bite. You still got to chase these fish down, and there's no such thing as high fence fishing. If he's in the water, unless you got him in a barrel, he's free range. And it's not easy. And a lot of people that think that are the people that have never used live scope that are just um, um, getting their opinions based off of something out of the sky. So thank you, JT. Uh, Blake, man, here we go. Here's my crappie guru. When crappie are spawning, they will hit just about any lure that comes by. They don't say they're in their way. Oh, they're not in their war paint for nothing. Cool. Christian McFan, I haven't, man. I have not used that line threading tool. I'll probably make a video on it just to see how well that thing works. Let's see, Bud is asking, is anyone using the Garmin Force trolling motor? If so, thoughts so far? Thinking about getting one. Let me tell you. So I've been on a few boats. Bud, when I did the Oklahoma videos, that boat is rigged out with the Garmin Force. Let me start by saying that is a man. That is a grown man of a trolling motor. That thing is powerful as all get out. Would I take my Ultrex off to put it on? I sure would not. Just because I don't have to have the newest thing out. Some people like the newest thing out, and that's cool to do. But I think there's not enough of a difference for me to take the Ultrex off and put on. Is it a great trolling motor? If I didn't have Ultrex and I was going from something without spot lock, like well, anything without spot lock, to a Garmin Force, sure, great trolling motor, man. Is very powerful. Um, I mean, it pulled me and John from the bass tank around like nothing, like nothing. What's going on? Hi, Uncle KP. What's going on, y'all? That's either my niece or my nephew, or that might be my sister-in-law. So what's up, TT? More videos, tutorials, please. Get a little more specific, man, because I do not mind doing it. Poster boy, what do you want a tutorial on? You have anything in particular you want to see? Um, We have had weather in the 70s during the day and 57 at night, but the night is going back to the 40s next week. How deep do you think they will go back out? It depends on how long it's going to drop into the 40s. Because guys, it's not going to the water is not going to just get cold overnight, especially if you're going to be 70s during the day. Is it still going to be warm during the day and it's just going to stay cold during the night? Remember, we have a lot more sunlight than we do nighttime right now. So those fish may not move at all just because it dips in the 40s a few times. Now, if it's going to be, oh, it's Braylon. What's going on, man? What's going on, nephew? If it's going to be, um, if it's going to be just in and out, I wouldn't worry about it. If it's going to be in the 40s for a long period of time at night, like another 2 weeks or a week and a half, or maybe even a week, then you might start seeing a little bit of change in the temperature. But I doubt if it's going to be much, especially if you're still going to be having the highs that you're having. Excuse me. Been crappie fishing for 14 years. That's what's up, guys. Again, y'all, look, I want y'all to visit the website, man. Get you some Hook City gear, man. We're about to get management to put our T-shirts back on there as we're moving out of the cold season into the warmer months, and it's about to go down. So please check out www.hookcitytv.com. We got the Real Fisherman Love Jesus, like the one I have on, in different colors, and this is actually the what do you call it? The moisture wicking. All right, so it's like the one you want to use uh, to fish in, especially when it's warm outside. Trevor Lee, what's going on, bro? When you gonna be back in Texas, man? I'm in Texas now. I'm in Texas now. Look, I was thinking about getting off of this live and seeing if my wife would let me sneak to the lake for a second. But yeah, man, we need to get up. T. Clark, thank you very much for what you gave, and also you, Trevor, thank you for what you gave. Knowing, understanding what you gave goes towards crappie fishing. Any celebration ideas for 30,000 subs? Sean Conlon, I haven't thought about it, man, but I tell you what, we are around the corner. Let's see. Okay, so Buck Chaser says, in general, when do you switch over from chasing spawning crappie and focus on post spawn crappie that are stacked on brush piles? So for me, the you'll see the difference in the numbers that you're catching when you go from spawn into post spawn. There'll be a change in the numbers that you're catching, and then you'll start seeing a lot of little fish come in. And then it'll be a lot of bluegill and certain things like that coming in. So usually, rule of thumb, somewhere in May, I usually can catch crappie, especially on those brush piles that are in 8 to 10. I usually can catch crappie spawning up into May. Definitely all through April. If the weather is right, it's gonna get crazy. May, and then definitely by June, still to males with their color, but it's few and far in between. So I usually kind of stop looking at spawning fish somewhere in the month of May, usually the middle or towards the end of May. I'll altogether quit looking for them and go right into the pattern where I'll be catching fish on brush piles. So I'd say rule of thumb around May, middle of May. Um, let's see. Okay, Poster Boy says more jig tutorials and scanner tutorials. Your last jig tutorial, I couldn't see what kind of jigs they were. Academy Sports tutorial. I got you. Okay, so man, listen, thank you very much, man, and I that is noted, and we're gonna get you back on it, man. Do y'all want to know kind of what my picks are for spawning jigs? Do you want to see what my spring jig selection would look like? I can definitely make something like that for you. I've had a lot of people ask about cadence and how I jig. Like, what is my movement when I'm jigging for crappie? I can go back over that for sure this year. I'm not going to talk a whole lot because I know there's people on this channel that are just looking for ideas for videos, and I'm not trying to give you video ideas because I want to do it first. JC says he would like to see some more hummingbird scanning and side imaging tutorials. Noted. Channel is tripping, so thanks for the inspiration. You have given me the courage to make my own channel and make my own fishing videos. Shout out to Dragon Baits Fishing. That's what's up. Best water temp to get on spawning crappie in the rocks. Man, those fish can come at any time. I like to see a few sunny days. Let me say it like that, because those sunny days are gonna warm those rocks up, guys. I just go check. I'm not really one to look at what the temperatures are, but rule of thumb again, you get into that 55 and up, those fish should be moving into those areas, especially if you have a lot of sunny days. And those rocks are shallow because those rocks, guys, are going to absorb that heat from the sun, and that's what those crappie are looking for. Greg Nichols says, are moonshine crappie jigs worth the money? If you watched enough of my videos, I can't say it enough. Crappie cricket is the ticket. And who sells crappie crickets? Moonshine jigs. Get you some. For real. Let's see. Piano at 3 says he uses his trout gear for crappie. And I know a lot of people that do the same thing. Um, DRDI Outdoors has great information. Says don't ever overlook, excuse me, don't overwork the jig. Not overworking a jig is key, guys. And again, it is your movements. You want to make your bait look natural. Every now and again, a sporadic movement will make a fish attack. Not necessarily eat, but attack. But for the most part, man, you don't want to be sporadic. You want, just a bump and maybe stop. You just want enough of that fish to know I'm there. Or if it's not really close to you, he's close, but he doesn't see your jig, just a few bumps will put enough vibration in the water for that fish to key in on your bait. So you ain't got to go crazy. You ain't got to go crazy. Trevor Lee, we are about to get hit with a bunch of rain. That's why I was thinking about going tonight, man. If my wife was cool with me just going for an hour or so. You're not supposed to jig 1 inch for 30 seconds straight. Correct. You're not supposed to just keep that thing moving for 30 seconds. Now, I will say, I watched the ice fishermen before, and now that I'm using this live scope, there are times that these fish they're just dead. They're asleep. They don't want to move. And I'll jig it, nothing. And I looked at what those guys do up north when they just sit there with those really, really small rods, and they'll just sit there and just give it a movement like this. And all that is just putting that vibration in the water. And I will do that for 30 seconds and then stop. And then you'll see that fish on live scope he just twitches. And he comes up, bam, and he just eats your jig. So, I tell my buddy Dimitri all the time, I really don't want to teach him crappie fishing based off live scope, because live scope can really make you develop some bad habits, especially when you don't have live scope. And that's why I try not to just be so heavily influenced by live scope because there's so much to learn without live scope, guys. There's a lot to learn with it, but I know that there's a lot of people that don't have that technology. And I want to create fishermen based off this channel, not people that know how to stare at the screen, if that makes sense. But even still, you got to know how to fish. So it's good to learn crappie fishing before messing with live scope, in my opinion. All right, guys, we got 99 people watching, 84 thumbs ups. If you have not given me a thumbs up on this video, please do so we can let YouTube know that we are enjoying this thing, man. Hit your boy with a thumbs up. Also, if I'm not seeing your comments, please, y'all, use the super chat icon for as little bit as 99 cents, man. You'll be able to put a comment under a super chat. It'll let us highlight it so we'll see it. And also, man, that dollar, man, is going to go towards keeping this channel moving. So we appreciate everything you do. Again, you can get in touch with me a few different ways, man. I'm going to be here on every Thursday night. God willing, say the same. Every Thursday night, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be here to talk to you guys, ask questions, laugh, pray for you, all that kind of stuff, man. Also, you can hit me on any one of these videos. Y'all go watch those videos and watch them again. If you need me to reiterate something that you've seen on the video, hit me up. Email hctv2@gmail.com. All that kind of stuff. MLC, I saw you text me, man, and I didn't read it because I was on this live. So I'll hit you later on, but I'll answer your question now. When I first started crappie fishing many years ago, it was a challenge. What about for you? So, man, it's kind of hard for me to even remember. When I first started, man, I'll tell you what, I don't want to sound big-headed, but I literally was born into a fishing family. My mom is from East Texas, Terrell, and her whole side of the family fished. Everybody but my mama, funny enough. So she can fish though, but all my uncles, both my uncles, my great uncles, my grandmother, my grandfather, my great uncles, my great aunts, all them folks fished, man. And listen, struggling in fishing, I kind of grew up doing it. I will say I struggled to learn how to jig fish because I wasn't confident in it. I was not confident in it. I didn't fully understand or comprehend what it was I was supposed to do. As soon as, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I sat and watched one spring, matter of fact, maybe in 11th or 12th grade. No, I might have been a little older than that. I actually I sat and I watched my Uncle Weldon. We were waiting at Arlington Lake, and I sat there and I watched him. And I don't even think he realized I watched him, and he might not even realize that he's the one that really just let me, without showing me, just there and doing it, hanging out with his nephew, and my dad. But I sat there because they were banging on these crappie. And when I say banging on them, they were catching them maybe every 5 minutes. But I wasn't catching anything. To watch him catch one every 5 minutes, and what I saw was how meticulously he just he'd set it down into some grass, he'd hold it, he'd come back up real slow, he'd find another hole, he set it right back down, he'd come up, he'd find another hole, he set it right back down, twitch, hold it there for maybe 15, 20 seconds. If nothing, he'd find another hole, and then every now and again, tick, and he'd come up, boom, crappie on. It's like, man, so what did I do? I learned to slow down and not think about it so much. So yes, I struggled, but I got it. So Be Rich, thank you for the super chat. Cam and I are finally catching. Weather and water are warming up. That's what's up, man. Tell Cam I said, what's up, man? He need to get on here and holler at me on this live one of these old days. But thank you, Be Rich, for what you gave, man. Knowing and understanding what you gave goes towards crappie fishing and keeping this thing entertaining and informative for folks like you. So thank you very much for the support. And guys, thank y'all for the likes. That brings us to 103. And real quick, man, I want to highlight something. We are actually growing really, really fast, y'all. If you have not subscribed, listen to me, man. This is a great time to pause this thing right here because we're going to be on it for another 2 minutes. If not now, as soon as this thing goes off, do not forget, subscribe to Hood City TV, guys. It is going down. This channel is beginning to roll like I never dreamed it would. Now, let me tell you, last time we were on here, we were at maybe 29 or 29.3. Let me see if I can pull up and find out how many subscribers we have now. There it is. We're now at 29,859 subscribers, guys. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers. Hey, listen, us grow the show, y'all. If y'all know you hadn't subscribed yet and you're sitting here enjoying this channel, you calling me your boy, how are we going to be boys and you ain't even subscribed to my channel, man? If you haven't subscribed, guys, it will mean the world to me and Dad and the rest of the Hook City family if you went ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. And also hit that notification bell so y'all can see every time I come up with a new video. I think I'm about to turn this redfish video because I had a great time. I have not started on it yet. I haven't started on anything yet. I just got off of vacation celebrating 7 years with my beautiful wife. So I want to shout out to management, AKA Alicia Pierce. Baby, if I haven't said it enough publicly, I want to let you know from the bottom of my heart. I love you, girl. You are my world, and I appreciate everything from raising our daughter, helping me raise our daughter, to the work that in, working a full-time job, being a full-time mother, being a full-time manager of our finances and Hook City TV finances. We appreciate you. I appreciate you for being the woman of God you are. Guys, I can't tell you how many times I've woken up out of my sleep to this woman praying over me. Listen, if you ain't got you, I just got the chills just then. If you ain't got you no praying woman, get you one. If you're married, don't leave who you're married to. But get that woman to God so she can become a praying woman. Because let me tell you something. She's a praying woman and she fine. And thank God she all mine. I love you, baby. 7 years and a lifetime to go. I love you. Let's see. Faith Family Fishing, y'all. I can't say it enough, man. Faith Family Fishing. Without God, it is not possible. It's the best decision I've ever made in my life is following Christ, man. Am I perfect? No. Am I going to present myself as perfect? No. But am I going to fight every day to live a righteous and a holy life, pleasing and acceptable unto God? Yes, I am. Every day of my life, I'm going to try, guys, till I leave this earth and sit before his throne, stand before his throne. That's the faith part of it. Then you go into family. And let me tell you something, man. Family is everything. Y'all know my main man, Hook City TV, my father, my biological dad, Kenneth Alvin Pierce Sr., okay, is my father. Without my dad, without my mom, without my family, and listen, not even my blood family, folks like Dimitri, folks like JT, Miss JT, those are my family, guys, and these people are supportive, and I appreciate them. Y'all are my family, man. Look, I pray for each and for Hook City TV subscribers on a daily basis. I pray for Hook City TV followers on a daily basis. So thank y'all. That's the family part of it. And then last but not least is when we get into the fishing, man. Because look, this life, it ain't for play, man. Y'all stay safe out there, man. This coronavirus is crazy. Thank goodness it ain't in the water because I'm still going fishing. You hear me? But Faith Family Fishing is what this channel is about. And if you're on the edge of your seat wondering if you should subscribe to this channel, let me tell you something, man. We're gonna keep this thing entertaining. You'll never find me dry or bland. Okay. But where I'm at is nowhere near as important as how I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so it's all about Faith Family Fishing here. Man, we're going to keep a clean channel, man. We're not going to be doing any cussing. We're not going to have any lewd and rude comments and jokes, and we don't stand for that either. So if you're asking a question or wanting to ask a question here and somebody wants to make fun of you or lie to you about what's going on, that person will be deleted. We're not on here leading people astray, guys. We're leading people to catching these crappie. And I pray that we're also leading people to Christ. And I pray that God gets the glory out of this channel, man. Real quick, we got some super chats that came in while I got in my feelings. JC says, how should I find good bank spots for crappie in different season? Maps, Navionics, web, or what do I look for? You look for fishermen. Okay. The 2 times a year that I look for that I would bank fish, if I didn't have a boat, the 2 times for sure would be the summertime, especially if you have a deep dock or a just deep docks that I can fish. In the spring, they're going to be up on the banks, and then in the or closer in And then in the wintertime, you can find some wintering creeks that hold some really good crappie that water is going to warm up. And so it's more or less understanding the pattern or the plight of crappie, where they're going and why they're going there. So I know that they'll be close to the bank in the spring and in the wintertime. They'll be close enough to the banks. They'll be in creeks and on the banks and close to the banks in those 2 seasons. In the summertime, I know that if I have a deep dock, I can fish deep docks. And a lot of times, if you have somebody that shows you where a deep hole is, even in off the bank, on the main lake, if there's a deep hole that drops into 15-foot of water in the summertime, crappie will be in 15, 12, 10 foot of water in the summertime. I've heard people talk about them being all the way down, as shallow as 8 foot, 7 foot, 6 foot. That's not my experience, but it is what I've heard. And it's something that you might even want to try to see if that's what's going on your local lake. Again, how should you find good bank spots? Understand when the crappie are going to be near the bank or on the bank. Understanding and knowing when they're going to be moving and how they're moving, why they're moving, because they're following shad or because they're looking for warmer water or because they're looking to spawn. Those types of things is what I look for. I don't necessarily find bank spots on maps or navionics. Now, you can use maps and navionics to find you a deep hole where there might be a river channel that swings close to the bank. And if you can access that bank, and maybe those fish will be set up in that river channel. So if I was to use maps, I would use it in that way. Let's see. Black Star Players, thank you also, man. Late tuning in, but you're here, so we appreciate it, man. You think spawn in full effect after this rain? The crappie are still going to spawn, guys. Now, I do believe that they'll be kind of sporadic after all this rain that we're about to get. But I also think that if it's going to be a heavy rain and we have a little bit of flooding, these fish, they're really going to push up into some of these shallow areas, and they are going to be harder to find because there's going to be some places exposed that were on dry ground today or just yesterday. Charles Breedlove, different breed lures, man. Thank you for joining in, guys. If y'all haven't seen that video where I used that black and chartreuse different breed lure, make sure you check it out. And Charles, if you would, man, give me a link to your website again, man. So if they want to check out some of those unique different breed lures, where can they find you at? Blake Clark, you're welcome. And thank you, man, for being so informative and tuning in. And also thank you, man, for just your back and forth, man, and helping me, just bringing up stuff that I didn't think of, I appreciate your knowledge and I appreciate you for helping me out here on this live today. Carolina Slabs, what's going on, man? I appreciate the talk the other night. Listen, we got into some redfish Carolina Slabs, and I mean, we got into them good. God, dog. I'm thinking about turning this video first, man, and then getting back into the crappie fishing. Let's see. Oh, man. Michael Melvin says, went out on the lake with my buddy and fell in, and I pray you had a life jacket. Either way, I'm thankful that if you're typing to us today, then that means you made it out. But, man, guys, wear these life jackets. I know it's going to be warm out there. Get you one of those ones that kind of just wrap around your neck and self-inflates. Look, if you don't like it like that. So wear your life jackets, guys. Ricky, what's going on? JC, Different Breed Lures has awesome customer service. Andre Jones, what's going on? Guys, we're sitting at the 58-minute mark. Water in my cup. Shout out to my man, Garrick Washington, man, for sending us that beautiful cup. Me and Dad, Hook City TV, Faith Family Fishing. Man, that's a beautiful cup, man. Beautiful cup. Keep some good ice water in, too. Trevor Lee, if I go take some repellent, I'm trying to see if I can get my boy D to meet me out there. I ain't asked him yet. I think he knew I was alluding to it. So, yeah, I want to show y'all this real quick, man. Do y'all want to look in the comment section? If y'all want to see the redfish, type in the comment section redfish. I'm so proud of this thing, man. I got you. Thank you, brother. Even if y'all don't put it in the comment section, I'm showing y'all this fish, man. Golly. Okay, Blake, all I needed was one, bro. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if I haven't said it enough. Let me see if I can find this redfish. Man, we had an awesome time, man. It was nothing but God. Number one, we had a beautiful hotel, beautiful view. Man, I'm a Florida guy at heart. Yes, I'm a Texan, but I'm a Florida guy at heart as well, being that my dad's from Panama City and I spent a lot of summers there. Guys, we had an awesome time catching these redfish of all sizes. I actually had some haters the other day when I posted a picture of my fish. But listen, I'm gonna give you that one. Okay, that's a small redfish. One guy posted said rat red. Say, man, that's a redfish. Get off my page with that junk. That's a redfish. Um, y'all know my motto. We don't trophy fish. We grocery fish. Okay. So now let me show you, man. Let me show you my guide, man. Guy named Michael, man. From Perry's Bait and Tackle down there at Merle's Inlet. So that's him with one of his. We're fishing dikes, y'all. These listen, you think of bass fights. That bass ain't got nothing on that redfish pound for pound. I've caught plenty of bass. I can't show you my thumbnail picture. I think I'm gonna have to make a thumbnail out of one of these. But guys, I got a hole. He told me at the length it was over 28 inches. He told me this is considered a bull red. Guys, I got a hold to a big boy. Fishing dikes in South Carolina, man. Chris McCullough, quick prayer for the boys lost in Pickwick last month. They were found today. Wow. Man, so guys, if y'all would, for those that pray and believe, man, let's have let's have a quick prayer. Well, not now. We don't have to do it right now. But let's remember them in prayer, the ones that were drowned, and for the families, man, that are left behind, man. What a sad thing. So, guys, two things. I can't speculate on how it all happened. I know they were in some bad weather and all that. But, guys, two things that we have on our boats when we're on the water that we need to make sure we're dealing with. One is our kill switch. And now in the state of Texas, it is law that we must wear our kill switch when we're operating our boat. And number two, guys, wear a life jacket, man. I know it ain't cool, it don't look cool and all that, but listen, my motto: if I can't drink this water, if it's too much water to drink, that means I can possibly sink. Okay, so I'm gonna wear a life jacket. Yes, I been swimming since I was 8 years old, 9 years old. That ain't got nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with current and undertow and underwater snags and all the different things that can happen if you get thrown out of a boat unconscious and all these different things, guys. Wear your life jacket, wear your kill switch. Be careful. Be courteous on the lake. I can't tell you how many times we get those. I'm not going to say what kind of fishermen because it's probably crappie fishermen too. Excuse me. Excuse me. My bad. But there's some guys out there that are not courteous, man. They'll wake you in a heartbeat. Be courteous out there on the water, man. Give people the right of way. Look, it don't take you nothing to slow down for a few minutes and let their wake kind of settle down, and then you go on about your business. And then be courteous of the motorcycles of the water, aka the kayaks, jet skis. As much as those people, they're not watching what they're doing. Somebody has to be responsible. Somebody has to be the adults out there on the water. So us as fishermen, guys, please be careful out there on the water, man. God bless those families that have lost their loved ones, and may they rest in peace, man. I pray their souls are in a great resting place. Catfish Patrol, what's going on? All right, guys, listen, man. Somebody said 3 spots. Man, we were using shrimp, Blake Clark. Man, Blake, listen, if you like redfish, you're going to love this video, man. I lost the fish, guys, that I didn't get on camera. Blake, bro, this thing had at least 9 spots going down his body, man. He was probably 15, 16 inches long. Beautiful fish, and we lost him on the bank. One more I'm going to show you, man, since somebody's interested in it. This is a cool one that we caught. He called it a leopard. He called it a leopard redfish or a leopard something. But check this out. Look at the pattern. He has a bunch of little black dots going down the side of his body, plus the big black dot on his tail. That's my man Mike right there. My guide for the day. Man, we caught some really cool fish. Guys, I got to get out of here. It's been an hour. I will be in Fort Worth in the morning and wish I had my ACs. Jerry Lee, I wish you had it with you too, brother. I'll be at work in the morning, man. Otherwise, I say, let's go try to find something. Golly, I wish I was off. Um, Man, Jerry Lee, man, I tell you what, man, y'all, you and your wife, y'all really today. If I ever told you, man, in Arkansas, it was cool. I think y'all were one of the most excitable fans or supporters that we met, and I had a good time talking to y'all that day. Um, Reggie A, man, Atlanta, send me an email, man. My wife is giving me, she's letting me travel, so I'm trying to get everywhere, man. Anyway, guys, listen, I've had a wonderful time, and I hope y'all found some of this information informative for you. If you haven't subscribed, do so, man. Do so, because again, it's going down. We're going to do some traveling. We're going to do some crappie fishing in different states this year. We're going to be using the live scope. We're going to be spawning. We're going to be catching spawning fish without any electronics at all. We're going to be doing some bank fishing, some boat fishing. It's going to be all over the place, crazy and wild. So please, continue to support the channel by clicking on these videos, man. Let your friends and family know that this is a cool channel. Fishing Ken, his dad, and all his friends have a good time. We got singing preachers. Listen, people talk about me rhyming all the time, man, but listen, it ain't right if I ain't rhyming. It's just me. We got people singing. We got people cutting up, acting a fool. Man, we're having a good time, man, a good, clean fun. Last but not least, man, if you don't know Christ, man, best decision I've ever made, man. So shout out to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Guys, if you are in the DFW area, the Fort Worth area, and you're looking for a church home or a place where you know that you can get the word of God from the man of God, our own Dimitri Norwood, a.k.a. D, a.k.a. Rev, that y'all see in these videos, is pastor of the New Beginnings International Church at 2000 East Loop 820 in Fort Worth, Texas. Y'all go check him out, man, and go get the word of God. And let me tell you what, man, I went to the church, and I have my own church home over at Great Commission Baptist Church in Southwest Fort Worth. But I'm gonna tell you, man, just the presence over there and the people over there, man, good people, man. If you're on the southwest side of Fort Worth and you're looking for a church home, my pastor is Pastor Douglas E. Brown over there at a Great Commission Baptist Church, man. You have to look it up. I don't know the address by heart, but a great church, man, where you're gonna get Bible, you're gonna get Jesus and nothing else, man. So y'all check out one of those two churches if you're looking for a church home. Either way, man, we appreciate you for coming. Thank you. All are welcome, guys. Let's do this fishing thing, man, and let's do it up, man. It's your boy Fishing Ken, Hook City TV. I'll have a video for y'all soon, man. Be on the lookout. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm out here. Hee haw.